So what's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel, your girl Natasha Nisha. On today's installment to the channel, it's going to be a bit of a mixed bag. Some conspiracy theory chatter, just some things that maybe in your own time or later you can just ponder for yourself and come to your own conclusions. Either ways, yeah, we are at heat wave vibes, like super hot. Like, you can lose your mind in this heat. But either ways, we're going to get this video out. So please stay till the end. I appreciate your support. And I want to add value. So let's get it. So this month of March 2025 is actually a 5-year anniversary of the COVID and the global lockdowns we experienced. Did you know that? Either ways, this is like when it was officially declared a global pandemic. That was back in March, the very month we're in today, 2025. And it's just crazy how time flies. And if you're still standing, like, kudos to you. As for me, some bits of parts of me feel like I haven't recovered, to be honest. And maybe recovered is not the best word, and I'll explain why. So either ways, I've actually now become quite the conspiracy theorist, or oh my goodness, or how I like to explain it, a pattern recognitionist. Okay, so this is just having the ability to arrive at my own conclusions, question things, and like think for myself, think outside the box. And it's crazy how, like, who can actually remember those days back when this whole new world order was just another conspiracy theory, and yet today they are pretty open about it. It's clear that this is where we're heading. So, yeah, knowledge makes a man unfit to be controlled and to be a slave. And this knowledge that I speak about here is the self education, not the type given in school, the type that you need to go out and seek for yourself. And what I love so much about knowledge and learning is that, like, nobody can take that away from you. So, back to the global lockdown that we had, like, with that pandemic in 2025, in 2020, it actually redefined the future of work and life as we knew it. There's no going back. That's why I questioned earlier if recovered is the best word, because there's no recovery. It's almost a case of whereby when your whole world falls apart, and there's just pieces, you cannot or you should not take those pieces to build it back. Use those very pieces to build something new. So, yeah, it's like, um, you know. So, as I said, the pandemic redefined the future of work and life as we knew it. And crisis usually leads to profound change. And this is some of the words of the economist Milton Friedman, who once said, only a crisis, actual or perceived, produces a real change. So this is currently where we're at today. And so that's my first point that I just wanted to get out. I have like a few more points. So the second one I have here is just a question like, have you noticed the strategy or the way, it's like a dark, underhanded way of those in power today? They create the problem and then provide us with the solution. And lots of this is clear in hindsight, just how they start at the end goal, that thing that they want, and then they re-engineer engineer it like from the back, you know, daily steps, daily influencing and guiding the masses through the news, the media, and you know, from the back engineering this plan, and in the end they want to have you begging for the solution to the problem they created, which they will then give you or sell you. But some of the strategy of those in power, this hand that controls and runs the world. And so, have you seen my video titled AI, the technology takeover, question mark? Part 1 and 2 is out. So please check that out. But there in that video, I mentioned, you know, the way that those in power also are viewing robotics, robots, AI. So did you know that to those in power, AI is not a total new case or a new solution. It's not seen as a new case, but rather it's just emulating what humans already do, is the way they look at it, you know. And this fuels the replacement fears that a lot of people have. And this in relation to work and other things also. However, you know, like with that whole thing now, like the way they view AI, there's now talks as to how, you know, taxes, yes, taxes will apply to bots, and how to legally solve issues between bots and bot owners. You know, if this should arise, what are the, you know, legal ways, you know, like if this disagreement should arise. And so it's almost like these robots, these AI, are being integrated into society as humans. So that's a little bit eerie to know, but so also, believe it or not, I recently downloaded ChatGPT. Yeah, and I must say, it's impressive, super impressive, of how mostly what stood out mostly for me was just how human and friendly, you know, those chatbots are, and just how it lowered my defenses, you know, and like just how well trained they are to understand human psychology, you know, and I can actually see us as playthings, you know, in the hands of those bots if they should so desire. Because really, and either ways, so with ChatGPT, you know, like personally, I'm not a fan of outsourcing my thinking to anybody, my arrival at conclusions. So with ChatGPT, it's just a new input or info source or advice, and yet as always, the final decision, you know, lies with me what to believe, and I'll still be always arriving at my own conclusions, because at the end of the day, I'm the one, my life, I'm responsible, and I will need to give account, you know, for my choices, decisions, my actions, you know, and so is that. But yeah, it's super amazing, like how, you know, it gets you, these chatbots on ChatGPT, it actually gets you to see it as a friend, you know, and in its reply to your question, it like immediately even invites you back, you know, back with any other queries you may have, whenever, wherever, kind of a thing, you know. And you know how they say, to be a friend, one must be friendly. So I think they did extra well on this, you know. The chatbots are super friendly, is something that I just want to mention. And then moving along, so billionaire Mark Cuban recently said, or rather warns, that companies that don't embrace AI risk being left behind. And he predicts a divide between those excelling in AI and the rest and everyone else, basically. And so, are most businesses ready for the shift? We will have to wait and see. And this is like innovation, boy, by fire, by force. Innovation by fire, by force. Either ways, not to forget also that the rising use of AI, is a key tool in Klaus Schwab's fourth industrial revolution, and amid the rise, yeah, so that's that. And a new point here is did you know? I recently stumbled on a study, basically. It's a fairly new, recent study, whereby this study found that people are becoming more stupid as we, progress. And this is from the shift from reading books to now consuming video content, may have diminished human intelligence. And so the study goes on to say human intellectual capabilities such as reasoning and problem solving are diminishing. This is due to increased exposure to visual media. And the study goes on to say also human intelligence appeared to peak in early 2010 but has declined since. And this, citing an international benchmark test study for 15-year-olds were tested there, and the test included reading, math, science, and as well as adult cognitive evaluations is some of what was tested there, in the study. And, but also a while back, fairly well this year, made the news here in South Africa where I'm at. And it actually broke my heart, The South African president went on to say 80% of grade 3 pupils cannot read for meaning in any language. Now, here in South Africa, we have 11 official languages. So even in their home language as well, if they should read, they cannot read for meaning, And so this, and this, as he notes, South African education's grim reality. And so basically this reading is like just your basic comprehension, understanding exactly what you read, And yeah, it's super sad, but they vow to focus on early childhood development. They realize that this is critical, the foundational skills. And then what I notice also is that I see this play out in the marketplace, in the South African marketplace also, in the businesses today. Like, they hear you, but they don't understand what you say. It's crazy. And I must say, television also is to blame for some of this. Television started this whole mindless consumption and this thing of adopting the ideas, what are broadcast, from the signal, from the television signal. And a life now of mindless trivia, trivia of celeb gossip, sports, and even the fear induced from the news channels, is what has become common every day. And so, some other US stats that I stumbled on fairly recent as well. Did you know, and this is the source for these US American stats that I'm going to read now. The source is the National Literacy Institute, goes on to say 21% of Americans are illiterate, and that is 52 million adults. And another point there, they say 54% of Americans, adults, cannot read beyond the level of 11-year-old. And this is 141 million adults we're speaking about here. And in another step, he goes on to say 57% of Americans have no education past high school. And America ranks 36th in the world for literacy levels. And it goes on to say white US-born adults are the largest group with low literacy. So this is from the source, National Literacy Institute. I got this off LeakShare Facebook page. It's fairly recent, like 2 days back. Either ways, this is developed first world countries with stats like this, and it's sad. And this speaks to some of the reason why the world is the way it is, like there's tons of NPCs out here, and just just the current way the world is, also because there's not enough educated people, and also that education from the schools isn't even enough. You need to go on and get your self-education, truly, if you wanna, know and have some freedom in this world, is what I found. And then, in closing, have you heard of Kaizen? Kaizen. So this is Japanese, and it's just the philosophy of constant improvement. And so here on this channel, we learn together. So please check out my other videos if you're that way inclined, if you want to brush up on all things, some things. And so this Kaizen speaks to the philosophy, the Japanese philosophy of constant improvement, whereby every day is an opportunity to improve, even if it's only 1%. And so that's something to know. And then finally, in closing, I have a bit of a tip or just something to share. Like, did you know that hug deprivation is real? This one speaking to your mental health, your self-love, etc. there. So hug deprivation is real, and I actually think I was suffering from this. Did you know that we need 8 hugs a day, 8 for maintenance? So hugs reduce stress, it lowers your blood pressure, it improves your sleep, it calms your muscles, it releases dopamine, that feel-good chemicals, hormone, and it builds trust. Hugs. So get more hugs in wherever you're at, more hugs, more healing. And so yeah, that's much of what I have for this one. And if you're still here, I appreciate you so much. And also, don't just listen to me, do your own research. And please remember to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. You're going to Natasha Nisha. Peace out.